Hey guys, I'm Hellhound, and last time I did a movie review, I reviewed Demons, which is one of my favorite Italian horror films, and since I am on an Italian horror kick here lately, I figured I'll review another one of my favorite Italian horror films, Zombi, directed by the one and only horror maestro, Lucio Fulci, who is probably my favorite Italian horror director. He's right there with, Argento and Bava and Lindsay and Sovi and the other Bava and and so on and so on. He's just definitely one of the best, if not the very best, which he very likely is. And a lot of people consider Zombie, well, it's actually Zombie 2, seeing as in Italy, Dawn of the Dead from 1978 was actually called Zombie, and this movie served as a sequel. It's called Zombie 2, but when it was released in America, and other countries, they're like, well, where's Zombie 1? So they renamed it Zombie or Zombie Flesh Eaters, and it's sort of a really confusing trend, because then they came out with Zombie 3, and then people were like, where's Zombie 2? Well, this is Zombie 2. Dawn of the Dead, Zombie 1. I'm not going to get into all the connections it has to the Romero Dead series, or what other movies are in the Zombie series, or Zombie Flesh Eaters, because that'll take forever. I'm just going to review this movie. Lucio Fulci's Zombie from 1979. That's all we're talking about today. We're not getting into all that other stuff. Yeah. A lot of people consider this his best work, and I can certainly agree with that. I can definitely see that. I'd argue that The Beyond is also comes very close, but Zombie's definitely great, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, the plot concerns a woman named Anne, played by Tisa Farrow, Mia Farrow's sister from Rosemary's Baby and some other good horror movies. She teams up with a journalist named Peter to go to a tropical island to look for her father, and there they find an army of the vicious, ravenous zombies, the title creatures, along with a scientist named Dr. Maynard, who is investigating and researching this recent epidemic of the undead. They also team up with a guy named Brian as well. So this basically make it the four main characters. There's other characters like the scientist's wife and this other chick and this nurse and a few others. But honestly, this movie's really not about the people. Like I didn't really find any of the cast really that interesting. They were kind of bland and forgettable. And like some of the girls, I kind of got mixed up. I thought they were all like. A lot of the women in this film are kind of stupid. Like these characters make really dumb decisions, like separating and going to a cemetery of all places right after they got attacked by zombies, and like when a zombie's coming after them, they just kind of stand there and frozen in fear, I guess. And I don't know, but anyway, that's not what makes this movie so great. It's not about the acting, it's not about the people, it's about the friggin' zombies. I mean, wow. And especially the tropical island setting and the scenes in the New York City where a lot of the action takes place. This is an Italian movie, but a lot of it takes place in a lot of it was filmed in the U.S., New York City and stuff. And I love the scenes of the island. But the best thing about this movie, by far, as I said, is the living dead. Look at that. Look at that. They look amazing. This has some of the best zombie effects I've ever seen in like an older horror movie. I know nowadays they can probably make them look even more real, the CGI and all that crap. But these look like real dead people. Look at that. Look at how realistic that is. The dirt and the worms coming to the eyes and the bone. It's amazing. All the zombies in this movie look great. Now, I think that Dawn of the Dead is a superior movie to Zombie. But the zombies in this film look way better than the ones in the Dawn of the Dead. Just look ordinary people with blue face paint, essentially. But these are, wow, these are very well done. In fact, they're so real. I feel like when I watched this movie, I feel like I could almost smell them in my room. That's how effective they were. The zombie makeup is incredible. The gore effects are very well done. They really outdid themselves with that, and that's definitely the best part of the movie. It's not, again, what I said, it's not really about the characters. It's not really about the situations. This is about the freaking zombies. It's very visual. Now, I will say the film is a little slow-paced, and there are a few times where you do get a little bit bored. Those scenes with the dead rising out of the ground and biting people's flesh off, biting their throats out, and ripping their limbs off, and all kinds of gory bits, more than make up for it. And you cannot do a review of this movie without mentioning the underwater scene where a topless woman is attacked by a shark, and then a zombie comes, an underwater zombie, who's covered in seaweed and he's waterlogged. He's got seaweed all over him. Another realistic looking one, by the way. All the ones in this one look very, very real and very well done. And then the zombie ends up fighting the shark. It's a tiger shark, I believe. And it was a real shark. They used a real shark for this filming. It wasn't a fake, artificial, man-made special effect like in Jaws. This was a real freaking shark. And how many movies can you say have a zombie and a shark going at it? I mean, wow, and it looks so real because it is real. It's a man in a costume fighting a real shark, and the zombie makeup looks great. The shark looks real because it is real, and it's just incredible. The shark bites the zombie's arm. You see blood coming out of the water. I was like, wow. I mean, this movie really. I think Lucio Fulci and company really tried to have. They try to have a lot of things that had never been done before in a movie, and boy, did they succeed at that. And this movie is exceptional in that respect. Another standout scene, probably the second most notable sequence I have to mention, is a zombie grabbing a girl's head and forcing her eyeball into like a sharp, jagged piece of wood, a splinter through the eye. It looks a little dated by today's standards, but I still think it's a very good special effect and very gruesome and very cringe-worthy, because you're just like, ugh, you know, it goes right in her eye. Right in her eyeball. That's definitely one of the grosser scenes of the movie. And there's a lot of scenes like that, a lot of good blood, a lot of good gore. I don't really want to give a lot of it away. I had to mention the shark scene. I had to mention the eyeball with the sharp piece of wood scene. But wow, yeah, this movie's got it all. This is definitely one of the best zombie movies. It's right up there with Dawn of the Dead and Return of the Living Dead and Reanimator and Night of the Living Dead, of course. You know, next to Romero's Dead movies and Reanimator and Return of the Living Dead, this is one of the very best, and it has the best looking zombies I've ever seen. Wow, I mean, they're very, very realistic and very effective. Again, I can't praise the makeup enough, the costumes, the special effects. Wow, yeah, these ravenous corpses with a carnivorous appetite are just, I can't get enough of them. There's so many different ones, and then there's freshly dead zombies too, that are fresh kills. People who are bitten by zombies, they're blood all over their face, and you know, they're badly scarred and all mangled up, and they're still walking around, and it's just incredible. But my favorite, of course, the ones that are like more decomposed, like the one in the picture. I remember back when Suncoast Video was still around. God, I miss that store. I used to always see this on VHS, and that cover just stood out to me so much. In fact, I thought that was a real corpse. I thought that was a photograph of a real corpse. It looked so real, and I was like, wow, this movie really, like, the cover always stood out so much to. And I always heard other horror fans talking about Lucio Fulci and how great he is, and how, you know, how remarkable and awesome his catalog is. So I had to check this movie out, and boy, was I pleased. And as I said, it's not without its flaws. Again, the characters are a little bland and forgettable. I didn't really care what happened to any of these people. You know, I didn't really think that their story was all that interesting. There are a lot of slow parts. It is, you know, the pace is a little lagging a little bit. But I think it definitely makes up for it. It's a very grim movie. There's not a lot of humor in it. You know, it's leading up to a zombie apocalypse. And the scenes on the boat with a zombie on the boat are really cool. And like this epidemic, this plague, this infestation that's taking place. And there's even some references to like the voodoo or the black magic side. I'm so sick of science zombies. I'm so sick of zombies coming from a virus and getting infected by some, you know, laboratory experiment gone haywire. I'm so tired of that. It's good to see voodoo zombies for once, even though they don't really give a complete explanation. It's kind of more speculation, kind of like a Night of the Living Dead. If there is an explanation, I probably missed it, because admittedly a lot of the bad dubbing and the dialogue is a little poor. It didn't really keep my interest very much. So if they did give a solid explanation, I probably missed that part. You know, and I haven't watched this movie a billion times like I have some of my other favorite horror movies. I probably should. I've only seen it maybe like 4 or 5 times in my life. But I definitely plan on watching it again really soon, because yeah, this movie is just great. It's some of Fulci's best work. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Lucio Fulci. You know, I don't know. I don't speak Italian. I apologize. I know it's sacrilege, probably, you know, pronounce his name wrong, but I probably should have looked up how to properly pronounce it. But oh well, it's not important. The man's work is what's important. Yeah, he's like an Italian George A. Romero, especially when it comes to like this movie and others like City of the Living Dead and House by the Cemetery. I just can't get enough of his work. And this probably is his best movie, along with The Beyond. And so, another thing I have to praise is the soundtrack, the frickin' score, the eerie music that plays, that da-da-da-da. So eerie, so ominous. It's just like, you know that when you hear that music, you know that you're doomed. It's right up there with the Jaws theme. You just know that a zombie's going to come after you and eat you. and feast on your flesh when you hear that music. It's just so like it's just so it's so like gloomy and just so depressing, and it fits the film like a glove. There wasn't any poppy rock songs here that took away and distracted from the story. It's all like really gloomy, really unnerving, unsettling music that really puts you on edge and really fits with what's happening on screen. But yeah, all right. Well, I guess that covers it. Along with a very shocking ending, which hints at a zombie apocalypse and plague. This was followed by a few sequels. There was Zombie 3, which is really unrelated. It was also directed by Fulci, and I think it's definitely inferior when compared to this one. It's kind of a unworthy follow-up in a lot of ways. It's still worth checking out. I don't own it. I'd still say check it out if you like this movie, but again, it's not really related. It's not really a direct follow-up. It doesn't share any continuity, really. And then there's all kinds of other movies like Zombie 4, After Death, Zombie 5, Killing Birds, I think. Something like that. I don't know. There's so many movies in the Living Dead series and the Zombie series. You're going to look it up for yourself, because I don't feel like explaining it. It'll give me a headache to think of having to dig all that up. But yeah, I highly suggest that you check this movie out. You'll not be disappointed. It's some of Fulci's best work. It's a testament to what a great filmmaker he was. Rest in peace. His legacy will live on. The horror world will never be the same without him. He died like in the late 90s, I believe. But yeah, there's also a really cool scene with a zombie on fire. A lot of the undead being wrapped up in cloth and people shooting them before they come to life, before they reanimate. There's a severed head. There's so much great gore and makeup effects and great looking zombies, most of all, which is the highlight of the film. And definitely watch this movie for if you want to see a shark fight a zombie underwater, because you're not going to see that again in a horror movie ever. And if they did it nowadays, it'd be all CGI. It'd be a CGI walking corpse and a CGI shark. So screw that. This movie actually looks legit, because it is. But yeah, all right, guys. I'm Hellhound, and thank you for watching my Midnight Spook Show. and definitely check out Zombie and some of Fulci's other work. Italian horror rules. It's awesome. I can't get enough of it. I'll be reviewing a lot of other movies here soon. Probably Suspiria, and Tenebrae, and Inferno, and Opera, and Phenomena. So many good ones. So many great ones. New York Ripper. I really need to get to all those for sure. Let you guys know what I think. There's been a lot of people asking me lately about like my good buddy Irish Knight and a few others. This girl who this guy who was the lead singer in a band that I was in. His woman's been asking me a lot about horror. She knows a lot about horror too, but people always come to me and ask about my opinions and my recommendations and suggestions for horror. What movie's better than the other, and what movie should they watch first? Which movie should they order off eBay first? And it's really fun. It makes me feel like I've become something of a horror guru. Kind of like an expert, and people trust my opinions. People value my critique and my personal experiences with these movies, and they trust. If I say a movie's good, people usually believe me. If I say a movie's bad, people usually believe me. And we all have our different opinions. I think horror should come together as a community. Instead of fighting over which is better, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre or the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we should all just unite of our mutual love of horror. We can't agree on everything, and should become a community where we all just join hands and in peace and harmony and sing about, blood and gore and people getting their heads hacked off and their innards eaten out, and, maniacs with chainsaws disemboweling young women and stuff. I'm sick, I know. But I just love these movies. I just can't get enough of it. But anyway, yeah, I'm just really excited about that, about, being able to suggest great horror movies for people, and people coming to me for advice and wanting my knowledge. And that girl I told you about, the lead singer of that band I was in, his woman, she told me I was like a horror Wikipedia, like I had an encyclopedic knowledge of scary movies, which is a huge compliment. And I thank you guys, everybody who talks to me about these movies in the comments. Rocker Halloween Forever and Cut a Kite and all the rest of them. You know who you are. You made this very enjoyable, and I appreciate all the feedback. You guys have made it a really good time. Let's continue to talk about horror and great movies like this one forever. Alright guys, I'm Hellhound. Later.